You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
This makes my nipples hard.
Hey there, and welcome to the show. Today, Paul and I are continuing our quest for glory through to the fourth in the series called Shadows of Darkness.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so this is an absolutely beautiful game. It's set in Eastern European areas. I grew up Russian, and this game has that whole tone. It's set in Mordavia, not Moldavia, but Mordavia, and it's got that whole vibe going. And so I really resonated with it and the characters. And for Paul, this was your very, very first time playing through this game in the series. So I'm super stoked to hear what you have to say about it, because we haven't talked about it a bit. This will be the very first time.
Well, before I get into it, I'd like to talk more about how you grew up Russian, Anna. That sounded like something you'd want to expand on if you were put on the spot.
Well, no, my grandma was from Russia, and she spoke Russian, and she raised me downstairs in the house. My parents lived upstairs, and
Did she have a chin mole?
She would rent one on occasion. Like, if you don't have your own, you'd have one supplied for you. But she lived outside of Russia, so we had to go to the special chin mole depot.
Oh, wow, you're really committed to that. I appreciate that. That was really nice. So were all of your dolls kept inside of other bigger dolls?
Yes. I had the Russian nesting dolls, Matryoshka
Love a good
dolls,
Mashushka or whatever.
I had a few of those. I still have a few of those, and a lot of Russian foods, and yeah, it was a big part of my upbringing. Stories about Baba Yaga and Prince Ivan Ivanovich, and just great stories. Russian stories are the best.
Yes,
because
tales of Sergei Fedorov, and yeah.
Yeah, and at the end, everybody dies, or the husband beats the wife, and she dies, or he dies because he beat her, or the bear ate everybody. It's a little bit like German fairy tales in that way. Like, the moral of the story is they beat each other until one of them died. Like, it's always a very infinite. This is it. This story is over. You cannot have a part two.
And then he was killed by a bear. The end. Yeah. Just like in Quest for Glory, maybe 1. Where there's a bear in a cave, I think. Yeah.
The whole reason I have you playing this series is so you can say things like that.
Keep up with the references. That's fair. Do we want to make any more kind of like Russian cliche jokes, anything with potatoes, or should we move on to the game?
No, we should move on to the game.
Fantastic. Okay.
Did you like the game?
I did. I really did. I really liked this game a lot. It was infinitely better than the first 3. And I'm not going to be mean to the first 3. I just didn't realize that I wasn't having as much fun as I maybe thought I was, or talked myself into having thought that I had. Good old Sierra-inspired convoluted sentence for everyone. I playing this game, I was just like, wow. Like, I thought I liked Quest for Glory 3, but comparatively, this is just a whole different level. Like, 3's not bad. 3 was fine. I liked it. I still like the whole setting and all that. But this, comparatively, this was a good adventure game. Like, this was really good writing, really good storytelling. Like, I was genuinely interested in everything that was going on. I was really grumpy about it for one specific day. I got stuck in an area and lost like a good 3 hours, and I was a little mad at the game for a day or two. But that was it. The rest of it was a really, really good time.
Nice. Okay, yeah, because when I first got this game, I got the error message when I was playing it, the one that made it so that it crashed right at the very, very, very beginning.
Okay.
And you couldn't play it. So what would happen is you'd come out and you're sliding down the goo. And it was called Error 52. It was Error 52, and it would give a whole thing up. It wasn't Error 47. This one was Error 52. and it would be halfway down the slide right after getting out of the initial cave. And the version that I had didn't have the patch disc in it. The version, like, I have the purple box here in front of me. This one has the patch floppy in it, but mine didn't. I couldn't play it till I got the CD anthology that had 1 to 4 on it. So I had to wait like 2 years. And I end up randomly getting it off of a good bus driver friend of mine. He's like, oh, yeah, I happen to have this Quest for Glory game. And it's like the only game he had. And the
Super
only game he'd ever
Suspect, by the
played.
way.
Yeah, and he gave it to me.
Just
He didn't
giving
even
games to
know.
little girls and shit, like, you know.
I know.
That's super seedy. Man. Yeah, and imagine back in the day, too, like, when you needed a patch, you just had to keep checking, going down to, you know, Babbage's and checking to see if, like, hey, they fixed that shit yet? And if so, let me get one of those patch discs, yo, kind of scratching your chest like Tyrone Biggums. But, yeah, this game was an infamously buggy mess. I've heard the war stories behind development and such, and so, yeah, it's nice thanks to the good people at Scum VM to just skirt past all of that.
And thanks to Ash Lancer, who created a patch that added in missing dialogue and fixed a few other things. Still a bit out on whether the Domovoy issue is if you can end up accidentally soft locking with that patch. And there's a few things it can't fix. Like there's a line of dialogue that one of the cast members says that's wrong, where he's like, "Oh, Igor's gone missing." So that can't be fixed even in a patch because they don't have any other line in existence for it. It was done that way at the very beginning, and it's just always been like that.
Yeah. Did you like how I said Igor to prove to you that I knew the line? See, that's me. I'm trying to be one of you guys.
Paul. I'm so proud of you.
Like, I can quest for glory. So
you quest for glory hard. I'm really impressed.
I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes I.
But this game, it starts you off and it drops you into a town, and everyone's super sus. That you don't have any of your possessions. You're in a cave. It's dark. You have nothing. You don't even know how to get out. Bats are trying to fight you. And being a thief, which is what I know you were, Paul, and I was a thief magic user, there's little signs, like even right at the beginning, of thief marks out there to show you that at least in this game, there is a thriving, or well, maybe not thriving, there is a thieving community, unlike in the third game.
Yeah, okay. So many thoughts just on the initial experience here. First of all, the Sierra logo in this game is wonky, and I don't like it. Mm-hmm. Somebody out there at Sierra was tinkering with the Half Dome logo, and they gave it this weird little thing, and, you know, change frightens me. I didn't appreciate that. But on to the positives. So, okay, there was a thought that crossed my mind before even playing this game where I'm just like, do we make, like, too many lowbrow sexual innuendo? Do we, you know, project sex jokes too much into our episodes, even though we've done it for 200 plus things and everyone still shows up, so I guess not. But, you know, just trying to quality check our own stuff here. I'm like, you know, am I doing too many dick and fart jokes, basically? Because they're both still funny, but it's like, you know, you gotta mind it. So imagine my surprise when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try and dial that back for the next episode. And then what does the game do? They drop me off in a room where I'm just surrounded by buttholes. Is the first thing you see is a bunch of dark buttholes. And one of the first lines in the game is like, you put your dagger into the sphincter. Because the doors in the cave are buttholes. And they call them sphincters.
Any game that uses sphincters in the first 5 minutes is okie dokie by me.
You start out surrounded by 1, 2, 3, I'm looking at them now, 4 gray buttholes. I mean, that's what they look like. And then when you interact with them, the game is like, calls them sphincters. So, see, here we go again. I'm going to walk away from this episode and be like, did I talk about buttholes too much again? You know you did.
And you get to insert things into them. I mean, they're not just there as ornamental sphincters.
Exactly. Even the text, actually, there's one note here. The text says sphincter-like, and John Rhys-Davis, the voice actor, the narrator, who does a fantastic job, and we'll talk about in a second, he doesn't say sphincter. He refused to. He calls them stone valves. So the text on screen says sphincter, but he reads it as just stone valves. They're not stone, John. I mean, those are clearly elasticy, stretchy, sphincter-like. Stone doesn't work that way, is my point. Anyway, as Anna said, we then have immediate combat with some bats, which is fighting bats. My note just says fighting bats like Willie B. If you know, you know. I mean, am I right?
Mm-hmm. So John Rhys-Davies does the narration for this game, and he does do an absolutely beautiful job. And he's not the only well-known actor that's in this. We also have Jennifer Hale, which she does the voice of Katrina, and she's pretty impressive. And you have the voice of Winnie the Pooh is
Once you know that, by the way, the what's his name? The Boris?
Boris Stovich. Yeah.
Once you know it's Winnie, you can hear Winnie. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't know that
before you
till
don't.
an hour ago. But yeah, and then I went back and heard immediately. There's just this, oh, okay, I can't do Winnie the Pooh. But there's a vibe. You can tell it's him. There's also Minnie Mouse, I believe, right?
Yeah, she's Tanya.
And that's the same thing. Like, once you know it's Minnie, you're like, yeah, she's pretty much just doing Minnie Mouse here. A little less, like, bend and stretch cartooniness to the voice. But there's also a third Disney, Goofy.
Oh, right. Goofy.
The
I
voice of
forgot
Goofy.
he's in there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, you were saying Jennifer Hale.
Right, because she was in a bunch of other stuff, too. You'd recognize her from...
I wouldn't, but everyone else does.
Metal Gear Solid, BioShock, Baldur's Gate, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, and she's the world's most prolific voice actor as recognized in Guinness until broken by somebody in 2024. So that's... She's also been in, like, Powerpuff Girls. You might have heard of that one. The Last Airbender. Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? It's a bunch of...
But the show, not the game, I guess,
X-Men.
right?
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that. I'm just making stuff up. I'm trying to sound like, I know what's going on.
Right.
Moving and shaking. Like I said, everybody knows her. I don't know her. I didn't play any of that stuff that she's in.
Well,
but I know that
she's
people
very
really like
pretty.
her.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And she did a great job with this. Her Russian accent is awesome. She even says adventurer. You know how they say W's instead of E's? She nailed it. It was adventurer. Yeah, you do it. You did it good. Do it again.
Yeah, adventurer.
Ah, very good. Satisfying. Sorry, I didn't mean to, dance for the crowd monkey on you, but what am I trying to ask here? Was the autosave feature a stock feature? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay, that happened at the time. Okay, well, that's good to know, because I didn't know if it was, the clever people over at ScumBM hooking us up with it. So that's pretty cool. It's got to be one of the earlier instances of autosave feature, which was very welcome.
What did you think of the dialogue tree? You were talking about the way that the dialogue trees worked being a little bit different in this series. So
I'm used to it now, so I like it. And it is pretty clean and organized, and talking to yourself is still hard to remember to do, even though I've been playing these like in order, and that's been a thing. Okay, it's only the second game in a row, right, at this point in Click, but still, it was a little difficult to remember that as you go along. But I'm not knocking it either, because from a design point of view, like, I get why they're doing that, and I do like it. There's a lot of cool little design choices that hopefully my notes will reveal as we go along.
Right. I like... what was it? Oh, yeah. One of my notes says, we've never met you before and we don't trust you because of the law. We do have to give you the key to the Adventurer Guild. Enjoy. And I always think that's a neat puzzle, because if you're strong, like a fighter, you can smash the door to the Adventurers Guild open so that no lock works anyway. And then you can still go and be like, may I please have the key? And he's like, yeah, sure. Here you go. And you go to use it and you're like, for what, man? You've already smashed in the door.
Right.
It's like there's so many little alternative things you can do in this game, and ways to solve the puzzles. It's really, and you can do it in just about any order. Like you can decide to pick one of your quests and just go for it right away if you want.
Yeah, one of my notes here just says this game is doing so much at once and managing it all really well. Like, at some point I was compelled to just note how, I don't know, elegantly, I guess you could say, the game was orchestrating everything. Like, it was, there's so many open, what would you say, threads, I guess, like circles that aren't loops that aren't closed yet, and so many things the game's having to balance all at the same time, and it does a really good job of it. I mean, I could almost understand why it was quite a buggy mess on the first few releases, understanding how little Sierra tended to beta test, and then playing the game being like, yeah, this would need a lot of testing. There's so much going on at one time here.
Yeah, it's massive. And again, each of the characters has a completely different storyline. Like, only the magic users can, spoilers, see the fairy queen or, get the heart ritual versus via the fairies. And so none of that can happen. And only the paladins can, again, spoilers, free the Rusalka. Okay, spoilers going forward for the rest of this episode, because we're terrible at that. If you haven't played the game and you don't want to know any of this, just take a pause, and then play the game for the next 20 or 30 hours, and we'll see you back here. We can do a little review together. It'll be a lot of fun. And then the thief only can go to the Thief Guild and sort of follow the whole storyline that's going on there. So that's kind of neat and completely different. Like, you cannot see these things with the other characters. So you really do want to replay the game. Well, probably not you, Paul, but many would want to replay the game to see the things that they would have missed.
I could actually see replaying this. Like, I'm not going to, but I could see, if I was going to replay one, like, this is a good Sierra adventure game. There's just a few little parts of our RBG, our red, blue, green is RBG, so RPG. Mm-hmm. That's it? It's just a B and a P? Is that the problem here?
Yeah, you did good. Mm-hmm.
Well, look, it's not the rainbow keyboard thing, it's the other one. And there's a few times you have to deal with that, and yeah, one time I was stuck for a few hours, and that wasn't fun. But other than that, the game is it's just a really good adventure game. The writing, I was so much more invested in this game. Like, every character was interesting, and I wanted to know about them. And here's a question. Okay, I was wondering, because I don't really Star Wars very well, and I was trying to connect. There's like a disconnect that I had with the third game, and I'm wondering if it has something to do with, like, I don't know, like highly fantastical creatures acting as humans do that makes me disconnect a little bit. Like, something about, like, there's probably a better way to put that. Like, I guess, what's the word? Anamorphic?
Yeah, anamorphic.
Maybe it's just
not
something
my
about
thing either. Or, okay, I like real life fantasy, but I don't like crazy creatures, wild earths fantasy.
Right,
I
it just
think
gets
you're a little bit like me.
Okay, and the third game has a lot of that, right? It's the talking lions, and, like, I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure. I haven't really thought this through too much. Not that it matters, because it's just my fucking stupid opinion. But at the end of the day, I'm like, maybe, I guess for anybody listening, maybe in case it resonates with them. Like, and then I was just laying in bed thinking about this last night. I'm like, I never really like Star Wars very much, and they do a lot of that too, where there's just, like, these wild alien beings, and, like, you just have to straight face treat them like humans. And
Dude, I was just doing a whole research thing on personality types that were into specific types. And I was looking at shows that I like. And what it's come to the conclusion is I've decided I like real life Earth magic. I can handle time travel still on Earth. I like that. I like, being able to pause time, like, out of this world, or, fantastical creatures based in mythology are fine, I guess, like we're meeting the Russian ones in this. But as soon as you end up having, like, all these funny names for characters I've never heard of and don't know what they are, and mythological worlds, like, or going to space, and there's a bunch of different races of creatures, like, what's that one with all Avatar? Like, right. It's not my thing. Like, I'm not going to get into that sort of thing.
Right. And so with that said, I think that Quest for Glory 4 makes it just doesn't have, it's not as, like, fantastical in its lore. Like, I guess what I'm saying is it didn't feel made up. It just felt kind of Russian. And it's like, I can buy that. It's like, okay, this is, I don't understand some of these names, but, like, they're grounded in some sort of familiar reality. It's just a foreign reality, but it's not so foreign that it's like a talking tribe of lions is language. That's, I guess, where game maybe some lore loses me. But so anyway, yeah, that was my attempt to try to understand why I liked this game, or was so much more invested in this game than the others, because it's, in a sense, more or less, besides, like, the big butthole room that we talked about, it's more or less grounded in, reality as it was 300 or 400 years ago.
Some form of reality, yeah. Okay, so when you go into town, and the guy who kind of runs the town, he's standing there.
The Burgermeister?
Dmitry, yes, the Burgermeister, Dmitry Ivanov. It's such a great name. Anyways, he's, like, all arms folded and, like, what you doing here? Like, go home. Like, he's not, very, very not happy. And he doesn't want you there at all, and so he's like, get the hell out. And then you go into the shopkeeper in Olga's house, and first off, I want to comment on the cats. It's adorable. If you click on the cats, it says, the cozy cat conveys a calmness most common in comfortable confines, which is very Mary Poppins. But if you try to click on the cat that's on the big work table by the window, they just didn't program that cat in. So all it says is, you can't do anything with that. It's just a store counter. And it's, okay, to me, that was kind of funny.
That is funny, yeah. The game's kind of gaslighting in there a little bit. Like, you're crazy. Why are you trying to...
Olga is missing her husband. This is like, okay, so let's lay out the town and its quests. You have an inn where you can stay, and you have a shopkeeper who is missing her long-lost husband. You have a gravekeeper who is filled with grave humor, and you have Nikolai, old man Nikolai, who's searching for his long-lost wife, Anna. And you have Dr. Cranium, who's trying to bring creatures to life and debunk magic with science. And then outside of that, you've got your Thieves Guild, because we were both thieves. We got to do that whole storyline, which I'm super curious to talk to you about. So in the first day, you can kind of go around and check out those areas. There's also a monastery, but there's no people inside there at this time. So if you were to go into the Adventurers Guild, what did you do? I know you might have been following a walkthrough, but I'm still curious.
Okay. I'm going to bookmark right there and just quickly say, as you're listing the different little side quests and the characters in the village that you'll get into later, this game is like a small collection of like very human stories that weave together into the grand narrative. So I think for that reason alone is why it's so compelling. Especially compared to the previous ones where there was missing that sort of like human story element here. And in this one, it's like a wife and a husband and a man and his wife who like immediately are like, I'm not feeling good about Anna. Like, she's probably dead. And it's a bunch of like really nice little stories that you want to see through. And maybe I was often confused by the first few games. Like, the story was so one giant story that I was having a hard time piecing it all together. And this one is like a collection of stories that are individually interesting. So yeah, okay. So when you go into the Thieves Guild, it's really fun. It's a lot of game. You're in there for like a good hour, maybe more.
Yeah, they really do. Did you try to figure any of it out, like on your own?
No, what is this, 1994? Sorry, I'm so sorry. That was regrettable. And Anna's, I think, editing too, so that happened. Yeah, no, I didn't try to figure out anything.
Right.
At all. I wasn't very free thinking, but you know what? The
business card was a pretty cool puzzle. Getting the business card off of the photo to unlock the door, and you get the knob for the safe, all that, and then meeting the chief thief.
Yeah, that was jarring. I wasn't expecting him to be a bug. I'm trying to catch my notes up to here. There are some really good puzzles in this game, which you I don't know, warning sounds negative. You warned me they were going to be good. Does that work? Yeah, but whatever. They were. There were some really good puzzles in this game. Really good, like 2 or 3 of them. I don't know where they are in my notes. We'll get to them. But this room, the Thieves Guild, so put this back on you. You're very excited about the Thieves Guild because you even messaged me knowing that I had just finished the game as a thief. You're like, you went into the Thieves Guild, right? I mean, I know that you had to have, but you did, right? Like, you just had this, like, you saw it, right? It was so good, huh? So tell me, what is it that you love about the Thieves Guild?
Well, I love the lead up to the puzzles. I love the discovery. I mean, because I had to figure it out without hints of figuring out the scratch marks, how to turn the hooks, getting up into the top, and then the puzzle that would lead to the puzzle that would lead to the puzzle, leading to the back room, opening up the safes, finding all the cool stuff in there, meeting the chief thief, and then the whole storyline with how to resurrect him or turn him back into a human being again. I think it's all very exciting. And then, I mean, as a thief, the things you get to do, which are morally questionable. By far.
Okay, so you reminded me of how I talk about Thimbleweed Park when you describe that. So it's just more this like pride of like I figured this whole thing out myself, and the unfolding of the exploration that's behind that. So I completely get your excitement, and I did rob myself of that, I suppose, with the walkthrough. But I don't regret it with this game because there's so much story going on that I was quite entertained just with the story alone, as opposed to, the exploration.
Oh, good. Because, yeah, as a thief, you get, in this one, there's a lot more you get to do. So you get to break into a few different places. But the first place you kind of can break into with your skill level, and the easiest one is the poor old man Nikolai's house.
Yeah.
But you're like, he probably won't need it anyway.
He definitely has he's gonna die soon vibes, for sure. We were just like, yeah, he's probably on his way out. And yeah, but it is sad too, because you are robbing like the most vulnerable character in the game thus far.
Yeah. Yeah, very much. And okay, so in this game, the timing is a bit funny. Like you can ask about characters before you've met them, or things can happen out of order. Like you can find out that Igor is missing before you find out that Igor is missing, and it's just there's so many different contingencies here. But the one thing I will say is when you're talking to the elephant farmers in the inn, which are a mixture of I think Clint Eastwood and Rodney Dangerfield voice actors, they use the word horse patootie, and I think that's fabulous.
What is that? Is that vagina? What does that mean?
Just like bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, it could mean vagina in the right context. Like, bring out that old horse patootie for a ride.
Wow, Anna, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I guess it could work for horse vagina if people didn't know what patootie was and you manipulated them and told them it meant vagina. Then
like cutie patootie. There's that too. That's a whole that's a said thing. Like, what a cutie patootie.
Right. What if this whole time? See,
makes sense.
We didn't say it, but the listeners, they know. They're a sharp bunch. Yeah. They know what we're talking about. All right, let me catch you up on notes real quick. So, because this game is not linear, so I don't know how to integrate my notes into the discussion, but I kind of never do anyway, and it's fun to just stop and read them and see if they're coherent. So, first of all, the voices get very un-Russian very quickly. The game hits you with Katrina, and then the Burgermeister or whatever, and then you go into the inn and you hear like Rodney Dangerfield and Christian Slater and Jack Nicholson. Let's go with the OG.
That's the one.
That's the one. Right? I went with the Tab Cola version of Jack Nicholson. Yeah, so it's you're really immersed in the Russianness of the game, Mordovia, and then all of a sudden you're really wanted to say that in Italian for some reason there. I just lost myself. Yeah. Cross wires. Yeah, then all of a sudden you're in the U.S. pop culture in the early 90s. But that's that note that I wrote. The portraits are awesome. They're unbelievable, the portraits in this game. They have like a bit of a caricature vibe, I guess you could say. Is that fair? But they're really well done. Like they're artistically speaking, they're really good. They're also very funny. Like Igor looks like Carrot Top and Michael Jackson's love child. Precisely.
Very good.
Thank you.
And then, okay, so you can also go to Dr. Cranium's, and there's like these little puzzles. For example, there's a puzzle to get in and a puzzle to catch the Antwerp. But you can skip, like, for example, you can skip the puzzle and the Antwerp maze. You just have to click the question mark a bunch of times.
I didn't know that. There is a Dr. Brain reference, I think, on the way to Dr. Cranium.
Yeah, Dr. Cranium is based on Dr. Brain.
Okay.
Literally, he was a Dr. Brain tribute.
Okay, see, I like that, right? And for those who don't know, Corey Cole, worked on both those games, right? It makes sense that he would bring that in there. Igor sounds like Elmo and talks like Manu from Quest for Glory 3.
That's great, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, you mentioned the Thieves Guild, so the guild card, right? You mentioned that puzzle as well. The guild card, when you take it, it says, guild card, don't leave home without it. And I just want to point out that reference still holds up, and that's wild. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a in-the-moment pop culture reference, but, like, it turns out American Express or whatever is still fucking using that, so it still works.
Definitely.
Or at least it was memorable enough to us all. Frankly, I haven't seen a credit card commercial in a while, but last I checked, they were still saying that shit, so I just thought it was crazy that 30 years later that reference is holding up. The thief's logbook is too heavy to carry. I think I put this note down being pretentious because I assumed later in the game you'd carry something heavier than a book and I could call bullshit on it, but I don't think you actually do. I think they were on the ball with that. And they do
monitor how much you're carrying by weight, like as in the stats.
Right. And then at some moment here, and I'm going to pass back to you after this note, at some moment I just had a moment where I was just like, Shadows of Darkness is actually quite poetic. It's a really lovely name of the game, you know? Shadows of Darkness.
Right?
Yeah. See? You get it. It has the gravitas that time with the accent.
No, it very much did. So after you meet Dr. Cranium, and essentially you can go back to him and get a potion and get empty flasks because you'll need them. But you'll start to hear all these rumors, like there's a missing child from the inn, like the daughter of the innkeepers. There's ghosts. There's curses. Like, they don't outright tell you they need a hero. In fact, they're kind of like, go away. But really, the reality is they need a hero really bad.
Yeah, they're all out there just turning cheeks, basically. And I like the way you worded that too, because the game does unfold in that sort of way where it keeps it interesting, where you hear tell of certain things, like maybe the innkeeper's daughter's gone missing, and you know, they say that gypsies turn into werewolves, and it's said that, you know, the person in the castle is a vampire, and it's just, you know, it's not as I don't know, heavy-handed as it might sound as I'm describing it too, because it just has this small town gossip feel to it, where it's like, yeah, you know, they say that so and so is whatever. Sorry, I just gave up on what I was saying there. Like, so and so is whatever.
Small
the
towns
end.
were judgmental. They were small. They were close knit, and they were going to talk, and they were going to talk about anybody that didn't live there or wasn't them.
Right, exactly. Thank you for making that make sense. That's what I was going for. One of the really nice puzzles too, since we're more or less around when this puzzle, because I think it is. Sorry, I can make this coherent for the listeners who haven't played the game. And for those who have, when you enter Dr. Cranium's laboratory for the first time, the puzzle that you have to solve is super fun, and I was just kind of blown away by it. You have to...
I knew you were going to love that one. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Like, I don't know if this comes through in the episode, but I'm giddy. I am giddy.
No, it's coming through for sure. Yeah, it's adorable. You have to make a key. Like, you have to put together. Okay, it's what every logic puzzle, it's what every sliding tile puzzle should be. Like, it's like a fun version of a sliding tile puzzle. Instead of there being a one single gap, and you have to slide the tiles around. Like, I hate sliding tile puzzles so hard. But this instead, it's like you click where the tile should go, and then you click the tile that you want to transport there, and it does. Mm-hmm. And it's, I don't know if that was an adequate way of explaining it, but alas, that's all I got. So yeah, it was super fun. It's just in that right pocket where it takes you like a little bit of tinkering to figure out what the game wants from you, and then as soon as you figure it out, you can solve it pretty quickly. But it was a good dopamine hit. That was a very fun little situation.
Yeah, and like even to get in, you get the little Simon game. That's cute.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that was really good. The computer too was really good. Let's see if I can scan ahead to my notes here, because we're at that same moment. Was not expecting Bugman. No, that's different. Okay, well, I'll just fire from the hip here. The little computer that you have to use to bait the Antwerp and deal with the maze with
20 questions thing.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so much fun. Like it has this, I don't know. It has a little bit of a Phantom Falls vibe because it's just extremely irreverent and it's like it does that thing that I'd like to do, where it's just like not breaking the fourth wall but walking right on that line, where it's almost kind of fucking with you a little bit, and it's also playing like this meta game with adventure games itself, where like it kind of knows that you're railroaded into this one specific angle, and it plays with that. You know, like it knows that you're going to be trying to name an Antwerp, and so it has fun. It stays a step ahead of you, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I guess that's the meta aspect.
It's very self-aware. It is, yeah, I would agree.
Right, exactly right.
It's like it's on the edge of knowing what it is, but it doesn't quite go there.
Yes, exactly. It's completely edging you in that space or whatever. I didn't mean that to sound like what it sounded. I genuinely didn't mean that to sound like a butthole thing or whatever.
It's probably like, it's not necessarily that, but yeah.
That's true. It could also be like refraining, but enough about masturbation, I guess. And man, it happened so quickly with us. I swear this was supposed to be relatively on the level
family
episode.
Friendly.
It's fine. It's
Just
fine.
like
The other
the
day,
game's sexual too, so not just at the beginning. We'll get into that later too.
I saw a little kid laugh at like a fart thing the other day, and I just wanted to lean over and be like, you know what the good news is that in like 35 years from now, you're still gonna find that funny. Like,
Always.
yeah, you're locked in. It's still good.
So once you've done exploring the town, you can go off and you can make the choice if you're the thief. You can either stay around and start trying to break into places, or you can venture off into the forest and risk nighttime, but it's pretty scary. You can go to like the forest, the lake, the swamp, the cemetery. You can go to the gypsy camp, but you can't go in yet. And then there's this fun screen with the Leshy, which is the music in the Leshy room is my favorite music because it's been stuck in my head for decades.
My note here says, hate Leshy, highly punchable character. Hated him.
Oh, right. He was one of the famous voice actors, very famous voice actors.
That was Goofy. He was Goofy, I think.
Right, that was the one.
Okay. I hated Leshy, and I even have a note later that says, I still hate Leshy. He didn't come good. It says, Leshy did not grow on me. That was my last note. Like, from the first time I saw him, it was I fucking don't like this guy, and from the last time I saw him I did not warm up to him at all.
But the music.
I don't know. I can't think of it. I can only imagine the annoying sound that it made when he was teasing you into the bushes. Man, yeah, didn't like Leshy.
So good. Yeah, 1 and 1 and 1 make 3.
Yeah, just very punchable situation. His face, the whole thing. Didn't like the face. But I wanted to mention before we get too far from the Thieves Guild was that the voice actor who did the chief was awesome. He got into it. Like he was really in the zone with that with the chief. He did a great job. And then I just had like a little LOL note, which was like, I wonder if the chief could hear us coming, and then he like runs and hides behind the secret passage wall.
He skitters.
Right, because he skitters, exactly. Because there's no way he's just living behind the wall, right? It's like a nice, like, the Thieves Guild is like a whole nice room. You wouldn't just live in the wall, right? So he must hear the hero coming, or anybody coming, and like skittle off into the wall and wait for him. And I could just imagine him like how you were giddy a second ago, him just kind of like giggling behind the wall, like, I wonder if he's going to find me. And so anyway, that was fun.
Yes, it would have been. So
and then,
go ahead.
Okay. So are you? Let me go back to Dr. Cranium here, because my not sliding the tile puzzle was infinitely more fun than sliding tiles. Well done, Corey. I'm gonna venture out and guess. And then when you walk in on dang it, I'm not being adult again here too. But whatever. When you walk in on Dr. Cranium for the first time, he's begging Igor for his fluids, and now I have an erection, is what my note says. Because he's just.
Oh shit! I never thought about it that way.
Wow, that's because then you find out later in the conversation that he confirms that the fluid he needs is for creating life.
Oh,
so it's
damn.
Right. I'm trying, but then they do things like that, and it's like, man, that's a very.
So Paul sends me this picture a few weeks ago of this fireplace that was super phallic looking. It was like one of the posts on the side of the fireplace. He's like, "Oh, check this out!" And then when he was playing the game, he took a screenshot of the close up of one of the fireplaces. Which room was that in?
The monastery.
Right, the monastery, and of course it looked the same.
Right, it was exactly the same. The previous one was like a Yule log. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe stuff like that should go on Patreon. Who knows? But okay, the room, the Dr. Cranium room music is really good. I just wanted to know. And then is that was the end of day one for me anyway. Doesn't, not necessarily for everybody else, but yeah, basically I've finished Dr. Cranium's situation, getting to Dr. Cranium basically, and getting a bunch of flasks for him for purposes that you'll need later, and doing a copyright base puzzle. Shout out to some GeoCities website on the web archive that had all that stuff for me. And yeah, you deal with the Antwerp maze, which was horrible until I realized that I hadn't slowed the game speed down. And then, you slow the game speed all the way down and you can get that done really quickly. And yeah, that was day one for me.
That
next,
makes sense.
Yeah. Next was, I woke up on day 2 and I headed off to Irana. And I just wanted to say that her theme is awesome because, I guess shout out in general to Aubrey Hodges, who did just a phenomenal job with this soundtrack. We talked about this. This soundtrack comes up quite a bit, I think on our show. It's like a staple. I think I've mentioned it before when I was like studying scores for adventure games to make my own. It was Quest for Glory 4 and Space Quest 4 that I'd used as and Thimbleweed Park, to be fair, I used as the golden reference or the aim, I guess you could say. But yeah, Aubrey's work is awesome, and also so that this soundtrack is available on Bandcamp and it's been redone with real instruments, and it's phenomenal. It's worth. It's one of those things where, like, if this is giving you if you're like a huge Quest for Glory fan and it's giving you joy for 30 years, go give Aubrey $10 or whatever on Bandcamp. That would.
Yeah, there's like 45 tracks on it or something,
right.
It's like all the fight scenes. I have it. I bought it. It does go on sale occasionally, even so. It's out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's phenomenal. So okay. So I start out day 2 for me. It doesn't matter. We'll leave the day thing out of it. But first of all, there's Space Quest 3 vibes outside the town gate. I don't know why I said that. I don't stand by that. I don't know who that fucking guy was.
Talking about Jesus.
Yeah, I have no idea what I mean. Especially Space Quest 3. That's so chunky and pixelated. Like what do I mean? And I don't know. So yeah, if you see past me, ask him what the fuck he was talking about. But I guess one of the first things I do is find Rusalka. Again, my note here just says, yes, choke me, mommy. Because of what she looks like. And then the death pun when you die is going drown.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the puns. A lot of them were reserved for after you die. And being a thief, you couldn't help her. So that's kind of sad.
It was very sad. And then undercut drastically by the going drown pun. I'd like a good death scene pun, as you know. That's where they're formidable. Is in the death scenes. Yeah, exactly. Or maybe if you're playing a game and it has like multiple days and the title card has some wacky pun, that's fine too. But other than that, there's nothing there.
Right. So on the next day afterwards, you went and you checked out Arena's piece, and there are little things you need to do there. Like, so being that you were following a guide, when did you do stuff like planting the wee little bonsai tree, stuff like that?
That was actually when I lost 3 hours and was super grumpy about this game for the entire day afterwards too. That was all because of that. Yeah, I didn't. Oh. I was stuck in this like weird position where like I waited till too late in the day to grind my stats up to be a good enough thrower to throw rocks to get the tree free. And basically, long story short, I spent probably an hour and a half trying to work that out, including like reloading games and going back far enough to like do it earlier in the day because of your health meter versus your rest meter, and can't sleep through the whole day. And long story short, at the very last minute, I realized I could just throw a fucking fireball or whatever at it. I don't know, some wizard shit like that, whatever. Blue. Oh, so
you were a hybrid character?
I didn't know that. I wish I knew that. Out of desperation, because I was so frustrated, I opened up the little magic menu, and like one of them is like blue balls, blue fire, force something, and I threw that at the rocks and it worked.
Well, yeah.
I thought it was
a thief. You could just fetch to bring it to you.
So that was like an annoying thing, because it's like,
you can't do that if you shouldn't have been able to, unless you were you were obviously a hybrid character by accident somehow.
I mean, I definitely.
Yeah, you must have done that.
Maybe because like my character stats in the past were cheesed a little bit, and I gave myself 100 everything in the first game. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But I mean, I was glad I was, because I was kind of stuck there for a while, but then the problem was that after that I got immediately stuck again. And it was the swamp. My note here says, hated the swamp, hated throwing rocks, hate RGBs.
What did you need to go in the swamp for that early in the game? There's not even any reason to go there.
I had to get the fucking, at least the walkthrough I was using wanted me to get the whatever, it's not a potion, the scrolls, the 5 scrolls that you need.
Early. See, I usually get that super late, so I never think about it.
Yeah, I had to get the there's like a wraith guarding the tombstone at the end of the swamp. So I was, I mean, look, I would have got stuck there later in the game too, because I didn't, it was mostly my fault. We'll just leave it there. I thought I needed more agility because I couldn't make one of the jumps and I just wasn't. I was already frazzled and frustrated from the rock thing, so going right into that, I was not thinking clearly.
No, I wouldn't have. And I mean, you can practice your acrobatics and stuff by clicking the acrobatic button on you doing flips and stuff.
Yeah, I don't like it. I still don't. Look, I like this game a lot, but it did not change my mind about RBGs, whatever they're fucking. Because I just don't. At some point, I have. Yeah, here's my frustrated note. I know it because it's the only note that's like 3 lines long. I don't get how practicing lockpicking enhances the experience. Wish there was an adventure-only mode. Like, okay, climbing the gate costs stamina. I get that. That's fine. I guess it's the grinding. It just seems like it's there to cost time. Because it's like essentially there was 3 points in the game where it's like you can't climb good enough, so you have to stop and climb really good. And then there's another point in the game where like you can't throw good enough, so you have to just throw a whole bunch of times. And then there was another point in the game where, you needed more agility or whatever. And like I don't know. It just seemed, it didn't seem as integrated into the experience as it was worthwhile. Where it's like, can't we just skip all this? Like I just had to stop and grind 3 different skills 3 different times, and that was kind of it. So I'm like, can we just not with that? But whatever, we did, and I did, and it actually didn't ruin the experience. That's the miracle here. So, also, we're going to go back to Leshy real quick, because I don't know Jar Jar Binks very well, but like I'm guessing that whatever I don't like about Leshy is what people don't like about Jar Jar. Does that make sense? He has like Jar Jar energy, just like really like pick me in your face energy.
It makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Anna's actually stuck in a mechanical hailstorm right now, if you're wondering.
So my home is under renovations, and we're down to 1 bathroom, and the bathroom's literally getting ripped out as we speak by my husband.
Yeah,
my son is sick. We're trying so hard to get an episode out.
Scheduling conflicts, you understand. So that's that situation. But it's okay, because I'm here to say my next note after hated the swamp, hated throwing rocks, and hate RGBs is, okay, I'm back. I had a Snickers bar and I feel better, which isn't true. I had probably 17 rice cakes is the actual reality, and then I felt better. But I'm doing a reference here. That was a commercial with Joe Pesci that wasn't funny the first time, much less when I reference it. But there it is. Look, these are notes. They're not scripts. So, okay. The next note I have here just yells, seriously, the answer was a garden green? Where it will go. Oh, thanks, Leshy, you dick. Right, okay, so I remember this game. I don't like Leshy. That's for true. Because, I'm struggling to get this riddle thing done with him the first time. Because, okay, this was another point in contention. After Leshy does his little bush thing and then fucks off into the void, like he just disappears, I didn't know where Leshy was. So, like, I didn't know how to answer his question. I didn't know at the time, obviously, because it was the first time through, that when Leshy fucks off into the void, you talk to yourself to answer his thing. That's a weird mechanic, right? Like, that's... Right, thank you. Everyone will agree that the background noise is worth that burst of laughter interruption. Because it's, yeah. So I was really frustrated at Leshy at this point. I finally get the answer to this riddle I need, and the answer to where to plant the tree is a garden green where it will grow. Like, gee, thanks a lot. So I need to find somewhere green where it'll grow. Like, really? That's the help? Like, I know, it's a plant. Of course it needs somewhere green that it'll grow. And anyway, then I proceeded to...
And the goo was green, too, so...
Yeah, and then I proceeded to remember that I had, a walkthrough and could just look at where to go next. But anyway, I go back to the inn. There's the little jokey guy there, a gesture. And my note just says here, if I had played the floppy and then the CD, I would have been shocked that the Joker was a guy. Because it doesn't seem like a guy. I don't really get this note.
Very, like, unisex, I suppose.
If I played the floppy first...
No
I guess
voice?
I guess just because
there was voice though.
Yeah, I guess the portrait just really looks like a girl to me, and then you hear like this like very like guy like voice for him, and you're just like, whoa, Like, I don't know. He had feminine vibes. Yeah. Oh, nice poetic line that the game has here. You feel pain like lungs without air. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Makes you think of, raisiny, shriveled up lungs and such. I'm going to keep saying notes in hopes that Anna's drill situation calms down while I do so. So here we go. Anna...
It's a vacuum this time.
All right. Well, look. Surely the area is almost clean. So I'm just, here's some more notes, right? Okay, so you got Nikolai who's walking around, and he's like, I'm looking for my Anna, and he can't find Anna. Of course, I forget how well Anna knows this game, so I send her a screenshot of Nikolai, and I'm like, yo, this dude's fucking looking for you. Thinking I'm all clever. And like she's like, whoa, is he? Not only am I aware that Nikolai's looking for somebody with my name, but actually this came up. I shouldn't steal her story from her. Okay, Anna, when you come back, tell your story about you.
You can tell it. You tell it good.
I barely know it, but I've heard it once. So Anna was interviewing or doing something with Corey Cole, co-creator.
On a live stream.
Co-creator of the game. And he basically like switch. I guess he voiced Nikolai because, or maybe he didn't, but he switches into Nikolai's voice.
No, he did.
Okay, he did. So he gives Anna the authentic experience by looking at her and saying in Nikolai's voice that he's looking for her. So she gets to hear Corey Cole saying, I'm looking for my Anna, to Anna, and boy, did she love that, as told by me. So, there we go. Okay. There's a little bug talking to Bonehead, which I don't think I should be pointing out bugs in this game, because it's like this game has bugs and we all know that.
It crashed on me a few times when I was playing.
Did it really? Now, Anna didn't play the Scum VM version because we have. I'm very prideful, you could say, that a few of the Scum VM devs listen to the show. Hey guys, love y'all, thank you. Scum VM version for me played perfectly well. There's just a few like little audio things that I think I like. Okay, in case it's helpful, when you're talking to Bonehead, if you click the option Tell About Gnome, so you click Talk on Yourself and then Tell Bonehead about the gnome, it skips itself forward really quick with no audio. And then the same thing happens with the other subcategory of Ask About Fry Guys. And again with Ask About Big B, which I don't know if I shorthanded that. It's in quotes, so probably not. So anyway, if that's helpful, those three instances when you're talking to Bonehead have an issue where not only does the audio not play, but it actually it almost simulates a mouse click because it forwardly advances the text without you asking it to do so, which was a little bit annoying in the sense that I did want to tell him about the gnome and know what he said, and you can't really, it goes by really quick. So there, in case that helps. Another note I have here says that Anna's story is so sad, I love it. As coming from somebody who, is making ghost games, and I do, like those tragically, poetically sad storytelling beats. The Anna story was really good. It's just a really like sweet, sad story. Like this man loved his wife so much that he can't move on without her, and he's kind of haunted, tormenting himself, walking around town, wondering where she is. And then you find Anna, and she's all the way dead. She is super dead. She's a ghost in the woods, and it becomes a little side quest basically to reunite them, which I guess in hindsight, now that I'm saying out loud, in doing so, you fully get Nikolai killed. I mean, you send him out to his death for sure.
Which is good because you already stole his shit.
Right, well, yeah. So first you rob him blind, and then you send him out into the woods at nighttime to meet his untimely death, which he does. And I guess it's okay because that reunites him with his Anna, so they get to be ghosts together.
It's always worth it as long as you get an Anna in the end.
Yeah. Man, this is such a concise, polished version of Anna we're getting right now because she's having to really think about what she's going to say so she can like get in and say it and get out. It's very effective. You're doing great over there, Anna. We love you. The interesting thing about the Nikolai Anna ghost situation is that the ghosts are like severely mismatched in age now, because Anna clearly died like in her 40s or 50s. She's still looking decent, and Nikolai is like fucking 89, and
he's got dementia. Clearly,
yeah, he is old as fuck. But they're reunited and in love with each other. Like, it's not like she sees him as like, ew, gross, who's this old man? Like, she's super into it. But it's just an interesting little juxtaposition when you look at their portraits speaking back off of each other, because he is aged and she hasn't. And then, you could get into, like, if you want to, like, pack a bong and rip one, you could get into a whole side quest of just thinking about how weird that would be, that she has to spend her eternity as a ghost with her husband who she knows and loves, but he's, like, way older than her now. And then it's like, well, are they even physically attracted to each other because they're ghosts? It's like, it's not like, So I'm not going to, again, I think we've taken enough of the low-hanging fruit this episode. I'll cap myself off there. That's not true. I'm sure something will come up later. But the point is that you could get... Okay, but yeah, actually, the real point is that you get a hat. Holy shit, I hope the vacuum's done. This has been interesting without you. We got there. We did it. We did good. Please say stuff, though.
I'm so proud of you all.
Thank you.
That's the title of my name for this episode is Where's My Anna? Clearly
Dude, you're right.
Appropriately named.
Right. We've manifested that into our own reality.
That's great. So yeah, you can go ahead and pick one of these quests. Like, for example, if you want to help Nikolai, you have to find the ghost at nighttime of Anna and go back and forth and kind of clue into everybody what's going on and bring him over there. Or if you're trying to help Olga and her husband, you can just kind of go back and forth fetch quest style and just take information back and forth between the two of them, which is another one of my favorite puzzles in this game that I absolutely love. And I think that's neat. It's very satisfying, and they complete, like the quest completes.
Right. It keeps the gameplay is very motivating because it keeps you, you close an entire thread and you feel like you've done a good job. You're like, good, I did the thing, I saw that to its end, what's the next on the list? Which is why, it's probably why I like games that are broken down into days, because it's like you get to, or cases, let's say, where you get to, feel this sense of like, I finished a thing, and it's rejuvenating, so you can move on to the next thing. So, okay, two things. One, I'm just going to quickly say a line that I liked, which was when you reunite Anna and Nikolai, Anna says, being a ghost is not so bad when you have someone you love with you. Mm-hmm. Right. Thank you for that, Anna. I'm glad. Yeah, I know. It's so sweet. And the voice actor was so good. Mm-hmm. That she delivered those lines with just this like kind of soft, graceful potency to them. That it hits. It hit hard. It was really good. The other thing I'll say is a handoff to you, Anna, where I would like to know, I don't know, give us a quick rundown on what it was like to reunite Olga with her husband, because I didn't get a chance to do that.
Aw, really?
I knew that you could. I knew that you could. I never ran into the cemetery. Like, I just never...
You don't have to go to the cemetery.
Or
all you have to do...
The gate screen with what's his name?
Yeah, because it's 2 screens over, so it's super quick. But anyway...
Was it? See, I don't navigate well at all. Like, even in real life, man, I really struggle with navigating, so I never felt confident to be like, oh, and then I'll just run here. Like, every time I went in the woods, I was lost for a minute. Yeah,
it was southwest, west up. Like north, that was it. But anyways, if you go back and forth, she's like, oh, the no good Nick, he's never here, he's gone, he's died. And then you go to see him and he's like, oh, well, she always nagged at me all the time to keep the shop open. And there was no customers. Why do we even need to keep the shop open? She's like, oh, dust the shop. He's like, for who? For what? Like, and then she's like, well, I just wanted a little bit of help. And he was always carousing with his friends at the pub, and he just needed to be home with the business. And so you go to tell him, and he's like, well, yeah, of course I'm at the pub. What else am I going to be doing? There's no people, there's no customers, there's no business. I'm going to go talk with my friends and have a good time. And she's just getting me all down about it. And then you go back to her, and then she's like, hang on now. This is his business. Like, this is his family's business. I am helping him run it. Who is he to complain? It's too much of a pain in the butt to run a business that was his family's in the first goddamn place. So you go over and you tell him that, and then he's like, well, fair enough, but no, I'm not really interested. And then you go back to her again, and she's like, well, bring him talk to him about my avocado and garlic sandwiches. So you can go and you talk to him about her avocado and garlic sandwiches. And he's like, I haven't had one of those in such a long time. I remember the avocado and garlic roses on our wedding cake and things like that. And they start to get all sentimental. So it ends up that he ends up going to visit her. And then over time, he ends up agreeing to come back into the picture as long as she agrees to quit bloody nagging him. And he agrees to help around the shop more. It's very sweet.
Well, there's some Al Bundy energy in that whole nag, nag,
Yeah,
nag.
exactly.
You know, yeah, very
Nag,
of
nag.
the time.
Nags. She wanted me to have sex with her on her birthday. Like, geez.
Okay, no, that is sweet. I did regret in a sense not closing that little loop, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Can't get it all. But anyways, yes, it was very sweet. Now, the reason that you reunite Nikolai, really the whole reason that you get him together with Anna, is so that you can have his hat.
Yeah, it almost makes me wish that the game there was a reason to reunite Olga and her and I'm not confident in his name. What is it? Boris?
Boris.
Okay, yeah, because that's the thing too, is that you don't have to reunite those two. You have to reunite Nikolai and Anna because you do need the hat for Bonehead, and let's actually move there now. So we have to get a hat for Bonehead, as you remember from the first game, so that he can let us in to see Baba Yaga. But first, I'm gonna annoy a lot of you right now. There's a song that plays outside of Baba Yaga's hut when you're talking to Bonehead that sounds just like the note structure is for a moment there, a repeating moment, is exactly like an early 2000s rap song. And I just can't place it. And here, Anna's going to play that song for you guys right now, the theme. Okay, so if anybody listening can tell us what rap song, like I feel like it's like, I don't know if it's Dre or Ludacris or DMX, like it's like that early noughties sort of era rap song, and it just has that, and again, not again, for the first time, ignore the flutes, it's just the bass part, and it's like, I think it's the same chord structure. So anyway, hopefully somebody out there will know. I've asked a few different people, and all of us have said it's on the tip of our tongues, but we just can't quite. Like, what song is that? You'll let us know maybe, and if not, it'll just slightly annoy you too. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was plaguing me. I was almost late showing up for the episode because of it. I'm like, I just need to know.
Yeah, I thought it was Where the Hood At, but it's not. Like, it's okay. All right. Anyway, so we're here with Bonehead. I really liked him. I actually missed the on the nose New York Italian accent. You know, it's fun. Like, I haven't heard that since, like, I think we all got really sick of it, like, by the end of Sopranos and Jersey Shore. But it's been just enough time now where it's actually nice to hear that again. So I appreciated Bonehead's voice acting, and Bonehead in general grows on you. Hot take, Bonehead I like him better than Murray.
Yeah, me too. And now that takes us way back to one of their episodes where we talked about, like, it was a player versus episode, and we had Bonehead versus Murray, and
right.
we both had to talk about it. And you're like, I don't know anything about Bonehead because I picked Murray for the coolest skull, and I picked Bonehead for the coolest skull. Remember, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, I remember because I was inclined not to pick him because I was annoyed at the low quality of the pun of his name. And I'm just like, ew, he can't be good with the name Bonehead for his skull. But yeah, no, I liked him a lot. He really charmed me in this game. So you go in to see Baba Yaga. I feel bad saying this, but I guess I'm going to say it anyway. I didn't like how Baba Yaga's voice actor really drilled home the puns, man. It was, when she was yelling ice cream, it was painful. Like, I'm like, bro, like, it was literally like rubbing a dog's nose in it. Like, you get it? Do you get it? Ice cream? Like, oh my God, man, please. To someone like me with an aversion to puns, it was torturous.
It was a little much for you.
Yeah, it was a little much.
It was a little much. Yeah, that's fair. She's always kind of been heavy on that. But no frog's legs fricassee.
Oh my God, do I have that note in here? Okay, let me search my notes. Okay, I do. Okay, so let me just get the context for this. Okay, at some point, I think in the inn, actually, I don't know where, but you hear a reference that says frog refugee from a French restaurant, again with the Willy B. Okay, so then that made me think, forget all that, sorry everyone. To what Anna just said, my note here says, what was up with frog legs at this specific point in time? Like this early 90s period? Did the U.S. just realize what the French were eating? Because there's a bunch of it's like we just realized that the French were eating frog legs in like 92 and we couldn't stop. I don't know. Same thing with like ninjas.
It was a big thing. Well, you'd hear about it all the time in TV and ninjas. They were very popular.
Right, exactly. It was just this weird in the early 90s there were certain things we were just like all of a sudden hip to and couldn't stop talking about. Frog legs were one of them.
Mm-hmm. So in the meantime, when all of this is happening, there's this domovoi who appears at the inn, but you need to sort of sleep in increments and catch him in the middle of the night. And it's an infamous bug. If you don't talk to him or you miss him, you just simply can't finish the game. But you need to talk to him to learn about the rehydrating solution, because here and there may possibly be dehydrated domovois.
Yes. Yeah. This is the point in the game, just a little criticism. One of us has to do it. Do we though? But a little maybe even annoyance you could say is the game did a really good job with pacing, and then it falls apart at the end because you have to skip through a bunch of days at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. And maybe instead of rest for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and 60, maybe it should have been rest for 60 minutes or rest till nighttime.
Yeah, you're not the only person that has said that. I've actually that's pretty common.
Right, because resting for 10 minutes does nothing. Like it doesn't. It's not worth it.
There's no reason.
Yeah, exactly. Even 30 is arguably kind of useless because it doesn't refill your little bar enough. But anyway, yeah. So you have to skip to nighttime, especially when dealing with the domovoi. Right. There's like two times where you have to kind of there's really not much to do but just wait to talk to him until he shows up at night. Yeah. Which was fine. Where am I at with domovoi? Yeah, you have to go and hydrate his friend.
Mm-hmm. His little buddy at the monastery.
Yeah. And you wake up, you have to go see Cranium, make sure you get the rehydration thing.
Right, and then you can help the chief thief as well by breaking into the monastery, which is an additional thing, because obviously you can stop him from being a bug. You did do that, right?
I did that very early too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes him look like a bitch because it wasn't that hard or scary. Like you just go down there and get the thing, and just like, man,
dude, why have you been waiting this? Because he was a bug, I guess.
That's true. He didn't have a spine. Mm-hmm. Why, thank you, yes. Okay. I learned it from Quest for Glory, actually.
Oh, this is just amazing.
No, it's horrible. I can't wait to put this in the review. But in the meantime, we've dealt with the Donovan. There's some really, really good writing coming up. Okay, so you have to go see... You wake up one day, and all the townspeople are gathered outside, and it turns out that Igor's gone missing, and a gypsy has been locked up in the prison. And so you go free Igor. He buries himself by accident.
First off, my grandmother grew up thinking that gypsies were the bad guys. Like the stereotype that you would find in the game is the same stereotype that my grandmother had when I was a kid. So whenever she would see some group of people that were dressed with, wild earrings or clothes like that, she would call them, piratey. She would call them yipsies, because this is how she's translated from Russian into English. So she'd always say, "Watch out for those yipsies." So that's great. That's what I called them. I played the game and the yipsies, but I like the tarot cards that they use is the Russian tarot deck, and I have the same tarot deck. I found it in my garage. My dad had picked it up unbeknownst to me or the game or anything. He just found it at a garage sale and said, cool. Stuck it in a bookshelf. And about 8 years ago, I was just looking through their books, and I'm like, what is the tarot deck from like one of my favorite video games doing here? So
that is so cool. I didn't know it was based on the real on a real deck to begin with, much less one that you would have and then it's authentically Russian. I love that.
Oh, it's a beautiful deck. Yeah, absolutely. If I knew how to read tarot and stuff, that would be the one that I would read it with.
It's one beautiful deck.
Yeah, man.
I got the game to crash at that point. By what did I do? It was just, I think it was just the timing in which I clicked on the control panel, and then I closed the control panel, and the game wouldn't advance the dialogue for the card she had was put down. So it's like if she puts a card down and you open the control panel before she speaks on the card,
right,
then the speech wouldn't resume and it would be frozen.
You have done something we didn't expect.
Yes,
critical
precisely.
error. I crashed it when I was at the inn. And I was finished talking with everybody when I was still kind of finishing up the conversation with the elephant farmers. I clicked on my door to go into my room, and the game just like immediately shut down.
Huh. Okay. Well, I like how you said the elephant farmer, and it made sense. Like, that's a wacky sentence outside of the context here. But
They're great.
It just fits right in. If you ask Magda, the mother of the gypsy that you free, if you ask her about gypsies, it prompts a really beautiful poetic line about gypsies. It's so good. This is the thing, if anything, that we should post on Patreon, just to reference it, because it's really worth just appreciating as far as like a quality piece of writing. It's really good writing. Like, I'm super impressed with it. It captures the same vibe and energy that Apple commercial had in the 90s, where they're like, this is for the rebels and the misfits. It's a pretty famous campaign, so anybody, I'm hoping that's landing with half of you out there. But it strikes that same, that same air of, I don't know. It makes you wish that you were a part of it, I guess you could say.
Right.
It romanticizes it to that degree. It's really, really good. I did take the screenshot. I don't have it on my phone to read it, or else I would have just then. But yeah, we should probably post that on Patreon. It's great.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And throughout all of this, you're having these like really wild dreams of Arena. Like, wherever you sleep, you'll kind of trigger different dreams and things like that, which is a neat aspect too. I liked the dreams.
Two design notes here. I agree with you with the dreams too. Sorry, I underserved your sentiment there by going, yes, what she said, but still what she said, because I don't have anything to expand on it besides they were good. Two design note things I like. The key ring. That's such a good idea, where you just have a key ring and any keys you get you add to the key ring, so you just have one inventory piece and you don't have to look at what key is what. So well done, because any good adventurer knows you end up with a lot of keys in these games often. So that was well done. And then the other thing was making the cards interactive was a good design choice too. It's kind of that thing where it's like you're not really doing anything, but your interaction is needed, and it's just enough to make it feel like you're not just being read to for 20 minutes. That you have some sort of agency, or at least you get to click the next card. I think, okay, next note I had here was that the massive door yawns open. Really good line. The game's just, I made sure to write down some of these lines, like kind of peppered into my notes, just to lend appreciation to the listeners of how good the writing in this game is. And maybe I haven't stopped to actually just acknowledge that enough, but like the writing's so good. That's the reason I was invested in all these characters. As I said in the beginning, that it was infinitely or immeasurably better than Quest for Glory 3. I think the writing is so good in this. It's just so... It seems in a completely different league than the writing in the first three games. And the reason that I'm bemused by that to a degree is because I know it's the same writer.
Right.
But it's just like, what the hell? Like, it's so good. Like, obviously, the craft was honed as they went along, and... We've talked about this before, where writing is a lot thinner in parser games. There's just not as much, there's not as much writing, not as much narrative in the earlier parser games. But it's crazy that the writing in this game was the same person as the writing in the third game. And the third game's not bad. It's just, again, this is just completely like pro Jane Jensen level writing, in my opinion. It's so good.
And if you can put up with the fifth game, which I'm really hoping you can, it's a very, very satisfying follow through on the Arena Katrina side of things.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm going to, like, that was always the plan, so there's that. But I am curious to know, and at the risk of jumping way ahead of us here, I do want to know what happens with Katrina. That was interesting, and she's very alluring. I get that now. To anybody not in the Classic Gamers Guild or following adventure game stuff online very much, you wouldn't know that Katrina is revered. Everybody seems to really like Katrina, and for me on the outside, you're always just kind of wondering, like, what is the big deal with this Katrina character? And my note here literally says, I get the Katrina thing now.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah, I mean, she's in like a skin-tight latex outfit calling me her good boy. Like, of course I get it now. Which she does do.
Her?
No, I didn't know that you could do that.
Yeah, when she's in the coffin.
Oh, yeah, of course I did. Yes.
One of the options.
I'm a scumbag. Of course I tried that. Yeah. Yeah. The option is cop a feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It. So, of course. And did because I had just saved my game. Because I'm like, Sarah's going to kill me for doing this. As they would have had the right to, but they didn't. Man, Sears they were so ahead of the ball with female representation and things like that. Like, it shouldn't be understated. That they were more so to the degree, because I hate to sound like that insufferable person, but it's like, maybe I'll flip the script on that and say that like media wasn't necessarily without that. You just, there were people that were doing it and doing a great job of it, and Sierra was one of them. In other words, the representation was there all along, to a degree. I mean,
it's depth. Katrina despised
Fifth Element, Alien.
Sorry. Yeah, Katrina despises Adavis for being a man who resents learning from a woman. I mean, that's pretty ahead of its time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to carry the next few minutes here. Okay, that's fine. We got this. I got this. We're good. Okay, guys. All right, look, listen. It's just me and you. Anna's only going to chime in if it's worth it because there's some shit going on over there. But here's the deal. We're coming up to the end of the game. You guys are almost free to go. So we just gotta get through the last part here. So I'm saying all this as I'm just scrambling to find where I was at in my notes last. Okay, I got it. You're in good hands, people. I got this. Even though I've said nothing but I've got this for 5 minutes now. Here's the deal. So we are, okay, there's a really good puzzle, first of all, I don't want to miss over. So you have to, we're going to make our way to the castle now, whether we're all ready for that or not. We're heading off to the castle. We have to go rescue the innkeeper's daughter. Okay. I know how to frame this.
And don't forget to break into the Burgermeister's house.
I absolutely will. I don't even know what she means by that shit. Okay, that's fine. We'll figure it out as we go, guys. We got each other. One of the small story beats, as we said before, this game is a series of small little human tales that you get to see to their conclusion. One of them is that the innkeeper and his wife, their daughter went missing, and they're quite secretive about that. Like you have to uncover that through rumors.
She will cry at nighttime. The innkeeper, his wife, you'll hear her.
Yes, exactly. So you can go around town, and with anybody throughout the entire game, you can choose an option called rumors. And that really is a nice way that this game handles building lore and anticipation and all sorts of different things by just asking townspeople about rumors, the things that they've heard around town. And one of the things that they might have heard tell of is that the innkeeper's daughter went missing or was kidnapped. And as Anna just said, if you... As a fail-safe, if you hadn't been asking people about rumors, because you don't have to, then at the appropriate time in the game, you'll wake up to the sounds of them crying about their daughter, and it literally wakes you up out of bed, and you go downstairs and you do a Lara Bow where you spy up against their door and listen in on what they're saying, and you find out that their daughter's been missing, and so then you talk to the Dormavoo or
Dormavoy.
Thank you, Anna. And he tells you, like, the deal with that. So you get a doll from a cabinet, and you're off to the castle to go try and save their daughter, whose name is maybe Tanya. So to do so, you can like guns blazing, just like bust into the castle, or especially being a thief, you can sneak into the castle, and you kind of hear tell again around town that when the Borgovs were at the castle, that they had built like a pathway there from a tombstone in the cemetery. I'm blanking hard on what that type of tombstone is called. The kind that you walk into, a crypt, I guess. A crypt isn't satisfying. That's not the word I really wanted, but it's fine. A crypt does work. So you go into the crypt, and you're going to take like a hidden passage
Mausoleum.
Thank you. That's exactly it. You're doing great. Honestly, I can't speak highly enough of the situation. So you go through the mausoleum into the secret passageway, let's just say it, and there's a puzzle that you have to solve here that I really liked. It's a color-based puzzle. So you open it up, and it's a family crest, and essentially half of the crest is I guess you could say a rainbow or a gradient. No, not a gradient, a rainbow. And the other half is, just a cresty-looking logo thing. I don't know, dragons and swords and shit. And then underneath of it, it says Borgoth, which is crucial because that's a huge hint in this situation. So you're just looking at colors and the name Borgoth, and then it's like, okay, B is for blue, and O is for orange, and R is for red, and G is for green, and O is for orange, and V is for violet. And I don't know how far out there that is, but it was like, saying it out loud, it sounds a lot harder than it was.
It's like Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. The name, Roy G. Biv.
Okay, well, look, they can't all be winners. That one didn't stick with me, but I appreciate where you're coming from there and the effort, That was good stuff. So Anna's like a cuckoo clock. She just went back into her little door flaps, and she'll pop back out in a second here, I'm sure. So you do that really fun, sorry to call you a clock back there, but you do that fun little puzzle.
You don't apologize for cuckoo, just the clock part.
So you do the bloody color puzzle, and you sneak off into the castle. This part is a little annoying because the castle has a lot of rooms, and it's a little maze-like, and as a thief, you have to... I don't know. This is like in a Humans Are Never Satisfied note, is that you have to pick every lock. And part of me was annoyed that I had the skills to pick every lock, because it's just like, well, then what's the point here? Like, the game almost made me wish I had to grind for a second just to validate why I'm picking the locks. Like, if you can just pick them, then just open it. Why are you making me do this extra little step? And then the sound effect for the door opening is horrible. It's so, like, not a wooden door opening that it just drove me crazy. But anyway.
If you oil the door, it doesn't make a sound.
Wow. Very cool. That's that deep cut nerdy shit we look forward to. Thank you, Anne. So anyway, the castle's like superfluously complicated. It just seems unnecessarily big and drawn out and maze-like and whatever. I just struggle with navigating, right? So for me, it was particularly difficult. Maybe that's not the case for everyone. Anyway, you finally get to Tanya, and she's fucking horrifying. She's really sincerely frightening looking. She's drawn... Like her post-vampire state is like this Charlie McCarthy sort of doll vibe that's already creepy. And then imagine giving that like a vampire makeover. Not that different from bloody Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, fucking Kirsten Dunst, that one. Not that far off from Kirsten Dunst's vampire character, right? With like the doll baby kind of, not doll baby, but the Victorian era nightgown and shit. Like it's just, she was horrifying looking. And she's got this monster with her, and Anna's going to tell us the monster's name. No, it's Toby. It's Toby. And Toby's...
Yeah, Toby is lovely.
Toby is the most lovable red-eyed demon monster that you'll ever find, because he's pretty horrifying looking, and all he does is make scary grunts. But you immediately fall in love with Toby. He's very loyal to this girl on a golden retriever energy like level. Is committed to keeping Tanya safe. Tanya seems happy there. Okay, here's one, Anna, that you might get a chuckle out of listeners as well. I don't know, but Tanya talks about dancing around the castle and her aunt Trina, and I did not connect that was Katrina. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I don't know. I'd be curious for people listening, like first time through, like is it as obvious as it seems once you realize it, where you're like, obviously Trina is Katrina, but like I took it hook, line, and sinker. I was just like, oh, I wonder who Trina is, which was great because the reveal of Katrina being the vampire actually hit me to a degree because I didn't see it coming. So whatever that says about my IQ level or whatever. So anyway, quick little nerd note is at some point they mentioned how Tanya has a choker, but they didn't draw a choker on her. So it was a little miscue in the development aspect of things. And then my next note here, and this is only going to hit for Anna and the people who have played this game. My next note here just says, Toby, no! Like, fuck. He's gone.
It made Corey, so Corey Cole cried, and he kept crying about the whole storyline.
It's so tragic and great. It's like you have this. You understand. Okay, so we didn't set this up for anybody who didn't play it, but essentially it's like you have this understanding that if you go to Irena's staff in the center of town, you'll learn that like the staff has the power to bring somebody back to life, but at the cost of somebody who loves that person's life.
Right.
So sacrificial motif. And I don't know. You're so the storytelling is so. It's just so good. Let's just say that the whole lead up to walking to the town square and arriving at the staff, like I didn't really realize that Toby was about to die until like the exact second before he says it, where you're just like, wait a second, like he's gonna sacrifice himself for the girl. No, like and the way they draw his portrait, like they change his eyebrows into this like loving like he wants to do it. Like I can't give it justice by drilling it home to a degree. Like it's just there's such a soft touch to this part of the storytelling that it's quite emotional. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It's one of those sad ones that sticks with you there. So that happens, and now you've got the girl back, and she's okay now. She can go back, and yeah.
Yeah, right. So with that, we've closed all of the, I don't know, subcategorical. Yeah, side quests.
And then now we have to get into the end game stuff, which is you have to get these rituals. You need 5 of them to begin the end game. You get them from the swamp and Baba Yaga, the fairies, the wraiths, and the monastery, and then the other 2 because you need 7. They happen in the cave. So.
Right. So you get all the things together, and it's time to head back into the giant sphincters. This is not me. This is a line from the game. You force the sphincter open with your dagger and pass through.
That's right.
Yikes and ow! Like that's
intense.
Insane. Another line from the game says, "A thick putrescent fluid fills the bowels."
Right.
That's our Pee Wee Herman fucking word of the day, putrescent. Very
good. It's a
good.
great word. Please fit that into at least one daily circumstance.
Yes, everybody take it home with you. Use it this week and report back how you did and how it was received.
Right.
And for further context, it's a flamboyant extension of putrid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so I'm having fun. I'm going through the different buttholes, working out the putting the scrolls right, and then I get to so basically I'm kind of quickly skipping through the blood cave and a few caves here, and I'm going right to the senses cave. Is that okay with you, Anna? Is there anything you wanted to cover in the blood cave or the bone cave?
They're neat puzzles. You have to do things in certain orders, and it's not super hard. Like I finished this whole game with no walkthrough, so it is all feasible.
I could see that. I could absolutely see that. Yeah, it's a fair game. The puzzle it is really well done. It's some of the best puzzles I've seen in a Sierra game. Period. And you had told me to expect that, so I had kind of set the bar high, and it still met them. Like I was actually having a lot of fun with these, and not trying to fix it. Well, that's not consistently true, but occasionally trying to solve things on my own.
It all goes pretty quickly. I mean, by the time you start getting into the games, the caves and stuff, there's like essentially 30 minutes left. And then you're climbing. If you're the thief, you're using your rope and grapnel. If you're the magic user, you're going to be levitating and going up and down. And there's pools of lava-y kind of looking stuff. And each one of the caves has a different kind of a trial you have to go through to get the ritual. They're kind of a pain in the butt. But you can get through them. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I like the Indiana Jones sort of vibe to this part of the game. It definitely has this, has an Indiana Jones vibe to it. We can leave that there. But I didn't, I do have a bitchy note here which says that the Census Cave is bumming me out. The game is doing that thing where the end of the game gets really hard at the same time that you're actually a little ready to be done.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's, games, especially back in the day, I feel like this is a lesson that's been learned in more modern adventure games, but it was a common thing back in the day where I think it was a mistake of studying the notes of other genre of video games and being like, boss fight, things get harder as it goes on. And adventure games do not play out well when you do that because they're so mentally taxing, right? It's a thinking game, in a sense, an adventure game, right? You're solving puzzles the whole time. So it's like, when you reach the end of the game, there's a little bit of a fatigue where it's like, I'm kind of ready to be done now, but I want to see the story through, of course, but like, I'm worn out. I'm a little exhausted here. Let's be done. And then the game just ramps it up. And the Census Cave was the one that was kind of, it didn't break me, but it was like, fuck, dude, I'm walking around in the dark trying to trigger this thing. And, eventually I did, and it was fine. So there we go. But, so anyway, then you get to the final screen. You're in there with old dickhead fucking Adavis or whatever, and Katrina. My note here says fucking nerds broke out in a magic fight.
It's all magic.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the next note here says, "Oh shit!" Actually, I don't want to read that note, but but you realize Katrina actually is interested in you,
right?
And that's exciting.
Again, very interesting, isn't it? And how you actually, I don't know what you use to actually end the game. I'm assuming you used what Punny Bones gave you.
Yeah, right. Yes. I used the ultimate joke.
Yes. Which is pretty funny, right? Yeah.
There's other things you can do.
I can't remember.
Oh, okay,
I used the joke too, but I'm assuming you use the joke is the point.
Yeah. Use the joke. You don't really get to hear the joke, but I like that too. I'm not knocking that. Yeah.
I think the final attack varies a little bit depending on who you are, but you end up freeing Irena and ending the curse. She's freed from the crystal. Mordavia is restored. The influence is removed. All the threads from all of the prior games kind of resolve, and then you get pulled by Erasmus. I think is his magic.
What a
comes
dick.
in. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, not only a dick, but a cockblock and a dick. Mm-hmm. Unnecessary. Like, you're finally, you've done the whole thing. You're at your hero's welcome. It's time, like this is like your moment. You get all your accolades, maybe you get lucky. I don't know. I'm not trying to assume things for the hero. I'm just saying it has that vibe. And then all of a sudden he just rips you out of there. And to be fair, the mouse, what's his little rat buddy's name?
Fenris.
Right. Fenris even calls him on. He's like, are you sure that he, this is cool? And he's like, yeah. A hero has to go where a hero has to go. And he's like, I hope he knows that, right? It's just like, this just seems like I understand that where he's being pulled to in Quest for Glory 5 needs a hero, but like, it could probably wait till the morning. Right?
I know.
Like, it's probably been in trouble honestly, for a while now. Like, give him the night, right? To Katrina. And then maybe.
Here's the funny thing. You go into the next game. They pulled you in all critically. You need to deal with everything. But until you start the rites, like there's these rites you're supposed to do. Okay. I learned this way later. You can do absolutely everything you want in the game for as long as you want, for as many in-games as you want, to pipe up your skills and do everything. Because it's not until you join the rites that it all actually starts. So it's like they come in all in a hurry. They pull you out. You don't even get your celebration. Right. And you could literally spend the next 2 months fucking around.
Unbelievable. Right. So literally, they could have given him a night, for God's sake.
Oh, God, yeah. They definitely could have given him a night.
Well, with that, my last note says that the art during the end credits is insanely good. It has like this pencil sketch vibe to it, which translated to the pixel art in this like kind of cream background. Very good. Very nice. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Final thoughts, Hannah. What's your retrospective here? Like, we'll hit them from 2 different angles. One is the person who grew up playing this game and has played it many times and loves it and just played it again this week. What do you think of it now? This week.
I loved it. I loved playing through it again. I didn't find it tedious. I was taking screenshots all over the place. I now have like a computer filled with screenshots of just little things they said or things that they did that I found was interesting. It's a beautiful game. Every time I play it, I think it's more and more beautiful. I'm sure glad that you got to play it because I've never convinced anybody else to play it. And this episode was very satisfying.
Good. I actually liked it. Like not in a because Anna's watching sort of way. It was actually a really good game. It was really fun. Yeah.
So you should definitely play it. Or at least listen to this episode where we talk about it.
They just did.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, very good.
That's a very good thing. So, okay. Well, then, I'm going to say thank you to our new members in our Patreon. For
Oh,
one,
shit. He's getting the saw out. Hurry up.
Chapman, thanks for joining as a true believer. I'm so happy to be able to continue saying your name. You are awesome. And as well, Vic the Rebel, thanks for joining as a member. Daniel as well, and Grayson and Modnock. Happy to have you all with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
And of course, any other day, hopefully. And yeah. Thank you so much to everybody that is in the True Believer tier. Now you're new, so you're going to get your name twice again, Chapman. Mark, Brian, Mick, Tim, Gareth, Christopher, and Yanis, thank you so much for helping to make this happen. And thanks, Nonaton, for joining the $5 super fan. I really appreciate that as well.
Quick shout out to Jack, too. Or did you do that already? Doesn't matter. Maybe again, Jack Povlitz for... As Jack would probably find interesting to know, a few people have actually complimented us on the Sprite makeover that we have for the thumbnail, the episode art. I guess you could say the thumbnail, whatever for the episode has some fancy VGA sprites of Anna and I. That is not me. That is Jack's work. He is a much higher resolution artist than I am. So he's any VGA art you see is coming from Jack, and it's awesome, and it's just super cool to have art of us made. I'm very grateful for that. That's like a really, really deeply cool thing to be able to be like, I don't know, to be on the receiving end of somebody else's art and stuff like that. So thank you to Jack, and your name also fits with this whole.
My favorite games. Sorry,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
It does. No, the name does. Povlitz. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. No, I'm not. Povlitz.
Yeah, please stop.
No, I need to. I appreciate you, no matter how to pronunciate. I'm gonna.
Anna's malfunctioning on us here, so
it's been a lot.
We got to charge our Anna bot.
Okay. So continue to not email us. Paul said they're working. They are not. I checked. No emails are
terrific.
Continuing to get through in any way, shape, or form. But you can find us on Twitter at CGG Podcast or at Phantom Fellows, Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Patreon, as we just mentioned. Feel free to join and support the show. Otherwise, we're on Facebook, we're a page, we're a group, and we're on Instagram and YouTube. Download the Phantom Fellows.
Yeah. Get it put in you. Do that. Do all the stuff Anna said. Leave the podcast a review if you can, and stuff. Other, stuff. I guess we're both done. Okay, fantastic. Don't do murder. Okay.
A lot of rules.
Yeah.
Well, he's going outside now.
Should we try?
Yeah, let's try.
Okay. Go.
Do it fast.